Hello, everybody. And today we have got the lovely Ramona joining us. She's joining us from Toronto, Canada. And
Hello, everyone.
yo, Ramona. So Ramona joined the Soberclear program in November. She actually joined on the 11th of November, which is 11/11. And she's just been absolutely crushing it. She's got great energy. Super excited to have you here, Ramona. Welcome.
I'm so happy to be here, especially on April the 1st. I love that this is not a joke. I'm very serious about this program, and it's just changed my life.
Awesome. So this won't get published on April the 1st, but that's all good. So anyway, so Ramona, first question is what was life like before you joined the Soberclear program?
I went through a very challenging time in my life. As you know, Leon, I got very sick, and it was unfortunately, I had to sort of dismantle my life in order to go into recovery and really rebuild myself. But I developed this real dependency on alcohol to try and manage my emotions and some of the pain and feelings that were coming up. And it was severely inhibiting my ability to cross the threshold into a level of thriving, not just getting better, but truly mastering my life, which I feel it was always the potential in my illness. And so my life was pretty sorrowful before this program. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. And how much were you drinking then?
Oh boy, I don't think I've ever said this out loud, but probably maybe a bottle and a half of wine a day. Like I was always, maybe 5 days out of the week, I was pretty buzzed. Let's put it that way. I would give myself a couple of days off and think that's it, I'm done, it's over, only to fall back into the same patterns. Mm-hmm.
Got you. Awesome. And so how was the drinking impacting your life?
It was detrimental. First of all, let's just talk about like the physical aspect of it. Like I could feel like I'm 43 now. I was, in my late 30s to early 40s, which is a pivotal time. So not only is my body in full recovery where all my systems crashed and I needed all the energy I could get, but also I'm middle-aged now, and I can feel that my energy was really, really, really low. And so in terms of normal everyday functioning, it became a super challenge to like get out of bed. It impacted my sleep, which really severely impaired my ability to heal, make long-term lasting, sustainable decisions for the rest of my life. Like these are not, I'm not exaggerating, I'm being real. It had a severe impact on my ability to actually create a landscape where I could thrive. And it impacted my relationships. This is a very secretive act. And so I needed to act in a way that kept me isolated. It impacted every part of my life, and especially my business. So in terms of being able to successfully own, run, and manage a business, being in a hungover state is not a good place to be. So yeah, that's dramatically changed as well.
Got it. And you were saying that it impacted relationships. What did you mean by that?
So part of when I was recovering from my severe illness, it included within that illness itself is an element of reclusiveness, because I was very intolerant to sound and noise. So you can imagine going out to restaurants was very difficult. Like the sound of people's voices was very challenging. So I already had that element within me. And so just if compounded by secretive behaviors, it became very much like just me against the world, trying to rise and trying to heal everything on my own, which was futile. I was very successful in certain ways, but it was futile in terms of trying to make a long-term relationship work, dating, forget about it. Only my really close personal friends were able to take this journey with me. So it was very much an alone and isolated journey.
Got it. Are you okay to share about your illness?
Yeah, sure. What would you like to know?
just to give people a bit of context, because you talk about this illness.
Right. Yeah, it's important when I talk about the story because it links so much to the drinking. So essentially in November 2016, I traveled to another country to basically reinvent my life. And sometimes you got to be careful what you ask for, because it certainly did that for me. As soon as I got there, I developed meningitis and I lost my hearing, and I became medically grounded in that country. And so I was there for 5 months, just trying to regain some kind of equilibrium so I could return to Canada, only to find that it got worse when I got home. So it was sort of like an undiagnosable illness that, so it not only did it take my hearing, but it caused a brain injury in my brain stem that basically was like torture in my head all day long. So imagine if you were living with a fire engine, a jet engine, just all the engines blaring in your head 24 hours a day at full blast without the ability to turn it down. And then every sound that came in felt like razor blades cutting my brain. So it was a unique form of torture that I was under. And it was technically, it's an uncurable illness. So they don't really have many answers, and there's still a lot of mystery around surrounding it in the medical journals. So it was a journey. I went on a journey, and I'm very, very, very happy to say that I'm here having this conversation with you. I wear hearing aids, but I am alive and I am thriving. So I'm very happy to say those words.
Yeah, awesome. And you just mentioned that tied into the drinking. What did you mean there?
Yeah, so like imagine trying to cope with torture. So alcoholism runs in my family. I know we're not technically supposed to use that words, but I come from a family on both sides of my family tree, you can see in the background here, who have had a dependency on alcohol. And so a coping mechanism that was very easy for me to default to was alcohol. And so I just started to use it as a way to ground myself in my body, to knock myself out, because there was no, because you can't turn the noise down when you sleep. So it was some kind of something I could use to help me at least get a little, even though the sleep wasn't very good, it was something. It was a depressant, it was a downer, it helped me to stay numb and to not feel all the rising emotions that were with me chronically 24/7. So it was really something I could use to numb myself out. And not that I would advise it. There's much better ways to cope with those emotions, but that's what I defaulted to.
Awesome. So what have you done? And thanks for sharing that, Ramona. It's but what have you done to try to stop drinking in the past?
I had a challenge because it was so secretive, and I didn't want to, I didn't want to come out so much and just tell everyone. So I attended a couple of AA program, like just 1 or 2 sessions, but I realized very quickly it wasn't for me. I have done a lot of work in psychotherapy. I'm a student of psychotherapy. I've attended classes, courses, weekend programs, intensives. Like I have done, that's the type of work that I do. I do yoga and meditation, mindfulness. I would go on 10-day silent sojourns. All of that, during all of those times, there's no drinking involved. And so it was and then I would have to sit and face and feel my emotions, which was a huge part of, looking at what was going on and being able to find better coping mechanisms. So I read books and I listened to tapes, and I tried my own hypnosis, my own form of hypnosis. I tried coming out to, I sort of told my friends and family that I want to try sober years, and to varying degrees of success. So I was secretive in one way, but also kind of reaching out to people, but not telling them the full story. So I've tried many different things.
Love it. Love it. So then what made you decide to start with the Soberclear program?
Okay. So here's my truth. In 2020, even before the world went the way it went, right at the beginning of the year, I was like, this is the year I will absolutely not just drinking, get rid of all behaviors in my life that numb me out to the experience of my truth, of my reality, of my life, of what it feels like to be alive. And the number one was alcohol, because it was impeding all areas of my life, and I could feel it on so many levels. And so I was kind of desperate. And I was praying. I went into this, became a spiritual calling for me. It was like a clarion call. I'm like, I have to be done. And I gave very early on in 2020, I gave myself some time. I said, instead of seeking perfection from myself, I'm like, I realized this might take till the end of the year. So daily, I would connect with what my perception of God is, and I would keep asking, and I was still drinking and keep asking and still looking and still drinking until finally it was October. I was like, the end of the year is almost here and I'm not making any progress. In fact, I might be getting worse because now we're in what we're in, and this is unacceptable. Like I need to live. And I sort of, again, it's when I usually go into these points of surrender where I surrender it to a higher power, I said, you must show me. And within a few days, like this is absolutely the truth. Not more than 3 days later, you came up as a video on my recommendation on YouTube. And I was like, I clicked immediately because I'd never, ever seen anything like that. I usually get recommended very different content. And I clicked, I watched two, and already I was convinced. By the third, maximum fourth, I was like, I called you immediately. I like signed up on that, the internet platform, and this is it. I got it. Because if I could continue talking, I just knew, Leon, as soon as I heard you talking, I was like, this is the way. I saw it, I felt it, there was no doubt, and I knew it. And so the best moment of 2020 and probably in my adult life. So yeah, that's what I have to say.
My eyes are watering. So nice. So nice. Yeah, awesome. And so how easy has it been for you to stop drinking?
Simple. Oh my God, I'm getting misty. It's so simple. It's so easy. I don't even remember, you said November. It's like, it doesn't even feel, can't even, you're asking me the questions today and I had to like pull the memories from my memory bank instead of them just being there. It was so simple. It was easy. It was pleasant. And it doesn't even feel like that person I was is not who I am today. It's remarkable and brilliant.
It's what I call a sick transformation.
It's a sick transformation, yes.
So what does life look like now, Ramona?
So I'm so happy to, again, part of the process of going through the Soberclear journey with you is I also knew that I needed more healing, and in order to really fine tune my offerings for service to others, I needed to continue to deep dive. And so I'm so happy to report that I'm feeling so much better. Leon, I can get up at 5 a.m., which was impossible. This was always like for years, I've been looking to achieve this, and I'm achieving it. And I'm sleeping well at night, which I haven't slept since 2009, like well at all. And I was a complete insomniac. And I don't mean that a lot, facetiously at all. I mean, sincerely, as a result of my injury, I didn't sleep more than an hour a night for maybe 3 straight years. And so you can imagine the level of discomfort that I was in. I'm sleeping through the night. I get between 6 and 8 hours every night. My self-destructive behaviors that I had used in conjunction with abusing alcohol are starting to really just leave me, and I'm replacing them like I'm learning French. I know it sounds hilarious, but I realized I woke up in January and said, I have very terrible typing habits, and happy to report that I'm actually typing now, like without pretending. I can do it. It feels good. My fitness levels are amazing. I'm working out at least 4 to 5 days a week because I have that flow now, 5 a.m. And then by 6, I'm meditating, and I can meditate clearly and with commitment and compassion and patience and actually go into the act of what I feel is one of my best healing tools for everything in my life. And I can think clearly. I don't have any, I can get through my days. I have energy, I have sustainable energy. And so there's many personal breakthroughs. And professionally, I'm so happy to report that, remember I was telling you that I'm starting to come out with some of the gifts and talents, and it's time to sort of show up as this healer, teacher, speaker. So I led 25 people on Zoom on Sunday evening for my cousin, the one that's been going through quite a heavy health challenge. I couldn't believe it. I didn't realize that many people I thought it was gonna be maybe 5 of us. And it was my first time. I was just like, let's just do it. And I went into it and it was amazing. I loved every second of it. It was 45 minutes. I was like, are you kidding? When I was drinking, there's no way. I just couldn't do it. I didn't have the energy for it, and I would have been scared and full of anxiety and hungover. So, I mean, that's not where you really want to be when you're leading people that way. So for me, I wanted to share that with you. I think you're hearing that for the first time right now. And I think it's all steps in the right direction.
Yeah, connecting with the leader in you now.
Yeah. She's coming out. Awesome. She's coming to play.
Oh yeah. So what's one piece of advice you'd give to somebody that's thinking about joining the program?
I mean, I just do it. I have nothing else to say, but just do it. It is simple, easy, pleasurable. Everything that Leon says is the truth. I am a living testament. Everyone I've met through the program is also a living testament. It's a miracle. It's a true miracle. And it's actually the truth. So, here's the thing one of the things that I learned is, and I know from my own experience and all the studies I've done, is we make up these stories and we believe them. It has to be hard. We have to struggle. There's no way. We're always going to be afflicted. And just Pandora's box has been open to the truth, man. And as soon as you see the truth of how simple, number one, not drinking is, how pleasurable it is. And for me, the opportunity to be a role model for others, I mean, just do it. There's nothing. And honestly, the investment you make here is the best investment I ever made in my adult life, number one, because God knows I've spent so much money on my terrible habits. And I would continue to just throw that money away to this poison. And I would rather be doing this because now I'm fulfilled and using my energy wisely and well.
You're the best. And if we can leave it there, Ramona, but if anybody's got any comments they'd like to leave to Ramona, I'll be able to give you access to this video once we posted it. So just leave her a comment, and thank you so much, Ramona.
My pleasure. Leon, you're the best. Thank you for everything. You rock.